Hello and welcome to Drover Talk, real students, real conversations. I'm your host, Andrew Triplitt, a business major here at University of Science and Arts of Oklahoma, and today we're going to be talking about an entertainment source that's been around for decades, that keeps coming up in popularity and keeps gaining more attraction every single day. Today we're going to be talking about video games, and with me I have my amazing guests, Kat Davis and Jameson Davis, no relation. So first, what are your majors, and do you guys like playing video games?
I'm an art major, and I do enjoy video games, yes.
I'm a communication major, and I love video games.
So if you guys could give me like a number of hours per week or even per 2 weeks, if you need, of how many times or how long you play video games for, how long would you say?
It's kind of a big number. Per week, I would probably have to say around maybe 40.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, anytime I have free time, I just love playing video games.
I play for maybe 15 hours a week, sometimes less. I do a lot of things. I'm busy. I don't play video games nonstop.
Okay.
That is a lot, but that's nothing compared to 40. I'd probably say in the past couple weeks with like coming off midterms, I'd probably say it's been a little lower, but I'm probably like around that 5 to 10 kind of range right now. So let's go a bit back into the past for right now. So what was like the first game you guys played? And like what was your favorite aspect of it? Like everyone has a story.
My first game that I ever played was Spider-Man Web of Shadows for the PlayStation 3. I loved it. It was my first ever video game, as well as it was all my favorite superheroes. And just the aspect of being able to choose if you want to play like an evil Spider-Man or a good Spider-Man just really brought the game to life.
I think that my first game was a lot more basic than that. It was just Minecraft, which I think that a lot of people can probably relate to there.
Oh, definitely. I think the first game that I really ever got into was Disney Infinity, and I was playing on like the last gen of Xbox 360. Like that was my favorite. I loved all the creative stuff, and I loved being able to play as the Hulk. Like I went and did all the things like that. So do you guys like going back and revisiting older games, like ones that you may have played, ones that you haven't, just like trying to find old gems from years past?
I do on occasion, sometimes. Not really a lot. I tend to play more calm games, and there aren't a lot of old, like really calm games. There are a lot of first-person shooters out there that I don't enjoy.
That's true. COD's been around a while.
Yeah. I do like going back and just, it's almost like reliving my childhood of just going back, playing some old games. Recently, I've been replaying Mass Effect. So I've been going through that entire series again.
I love Mass Effect. Do you guys feel like nostalgia when you go back in games that like some of the first games, like as we said, have you ever gone back and like replayed those and just like had those nostalgic feelings? Like what do you think causes that?
I've definitely felt nostalgic while playing Web of Shadows. I think a lot of it just comes from you played it when you were like young. It was one of your first games, and so just going back, it kind of brings back all of the like old memories of when you were younger.
Yeah.
And so it just brings back that like child excitement.
Yeah, for me, it's like when it comes to Minecraft specifically, even though I've been playing it regularly for years, it's still a thing of like, I still get that nostalgia. It's something in the music, it's something in the visuals, all that sort of stuff.
I love Minecraft for how creative you can be, and you can literally do anything.
It's a sandbox game.
Yeah.
So, do you guys think like there's been one thing that's been like a major advancement in video games in like the past 10 years? Like whether that's like storytelling or graphics or movement mechanics or something like that. Like what do you think is like the biggest improvement in video games?
For me personally, I think like the nuance in storytelling, like recently, you know the game Mouthwashing? That's a sort of nuanced story that you probably wouldn't have seen 10, 15 years ago, and I think that it's really incredible how even if the graphics are sort of low, like how it used to be, like low polygon stuff, it's still got masterful storytelling.
That's so true. What about you, Jameson?
I definitely have to agree with her with that, but I think personally I love the like graphics of it. Like I love playing old games. Like their graphics still hold up, but just the new age graphics with like God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Its graphics are so well done, and especially with like new games that are coming out, the graphics are almost like realistic, almost, and so it just brings you into that a bit more.
That's so true. For me, honestly, I probably have to say I like the movement mechanics. Like when looking at it, for example, Spider-Man 2 that came out not too long ago. Like they revolutionized web swinging and certain movement mechanics that have never been done before. So I just love that advancement. So now comparing the two, would you say that there's some games or genres of games or anything like that from the past that are comparable or even better than ones that have come out in the past like 5 years?
I think that a lot of the older games are better. Like a lot of the time, games from like the 90s or the 2000s exist and they've like revamped it recently or created sequels that just don't compare to the originals. So I think that there are definitely a lot of examples of old ones that are better.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree with that, especially because of like you were talking about COD earlier. Call of Duty basically just repackages the same game over and over again, and so it's like, but playing that old one, it's like just, it has a different feeling to it.
Yeah.
So it's just, a lot of games nowadays are just feeling like repackaged versions of different games. And so it's just, it feels better for completely different games to be spread out throughout the years.
So would you say like older games felt maybe more original than a lot of like games or companies of games that are put out now?
Oh, definitely.
For sure. Yeah, older games, there was a lot of originality. Everybody had their ideas. It was probably easier to get their games on the market. Now everybody wants to do the same thing because it's what makes them money.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to ask a very divisive question that is highly, highly debated in the gaming community. What game do you think deserves a remaster the most?
Oh. You were right about diversity. That is a crazy one. Me personally, I would love a Web of Shadows one, but what deserves one, I think, would have to be the old God of War games. Because with the new ones, like, yeah, they're still making new ones and people are still enjoying it, but because people are still enjoying it, a lot of people don't have a way to play the old ones. So with a remastered version, we would get better graphics, just better game design for it, and just a better way to play it, almost.
What about you, Kat?
I was just going to say Shadow the Hedgehog.
Oh my gosh, I loved that game. Oh my gosh, that was one of my favorites when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
Me personally, I think that they really should remaster Darksiders 2. That game was so underpopular. Like, it deserved so much more credit, and I feel like it really deserves a remaster. So now I'm going to ask another question that's also a bit like controversial and divisive. What do you think of like the gaming industry right now? Like, do you think it's in a good spot, a bad spot? Because there's been a lot of controversies between companies and the way they go about things. Just what do you think?
I think that everybody really likes money, and so with the way that things are going, everything that is being done is for the sake of making the most money. So it feels like the gaming industry, every aspect of it, has just become a shell of what it once was because people are just trying to do what is the most popular and recreate what is the most popular and get the most views and the most money.
That's so true.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that. A lot of the companies now are just almost only thinking about the monies. Like, even though they just came off of like Spider-Man 2 and are making Wolverine, Insomniac is like kind of one of those ones of they're special because they almost don't think of the money, but they're like the only ones I can think of that are like the big companies that really care about the fans. Like Activision, Blizzard, even Ubisoft is definitely one. They mostly just care about the monies. They don't care about the fans. They don't really want to give us what we want, I guess. They just want more money.
Yeah, it's a bit of a sad truth saying that. But going forward, especially with how much has been coming out about the tough work industry, like the work life, the work-home relationships that people have been having to go through, and just the overall how destructive the industry has been to itself, do you think it'll get better, or do you think it'll be worse before it gets better?
I think that it's getting better. Honestly, I've seen some games cropping up that are like original and very good, and especially with the storytelling aspect, I think that it's getting better.
I think I would have to agree of it has in certain years definitely gotten better. A lot of companies have come out and given their employees a bit more like leeway on timing, giving them a bit more resources to help them, and overall it just has been getting better in general.
Okay, well, we're going to stop right there for the moment. We are going to go to break, and when we get back, we'll be talking about video games popularity, so don't go anywhere.
Well, it's a great help in the morning because that's when we do our cleaning. So we have a lot of free kennels we can go through and clean. The dogs love the exercise. And hopefully it encourages everyone in the community to come out and help with the dogs. If they can't own a dog right now, they can either sponsor a dog or they can just come out and volunteer to take one out on a run or a walk, and we appreciate it.
Welcome back to Drover Talk, real students, real conversations. I'm your host, Andrew Triplitt, a business major here at the University of Science and Arts of Oklahoma. With me, of course, are my guests, Jameson and Kat Davis, no relation. And we're going to continue our talk on video games, and now we're going to specifically get into video game popularity. So first off, do you guys find a hard time, managing your time so you can play video games?
For me personally, even though I play a lot, I still do have trouble trying to find some free time. A lot of it has been over the break was where most of my time was coming from. But now with college starting back up again, it's definitely going to be a bit harder with classes and getting assignments in.
I stay up very late, and that's when a lot of my hours in video games are played, and I go home a lot over the week rather than staying at the dorm, so it's really easy to just play games on my computer there deep into the night.
I feel like a lot of gamers can agree with we can tend to be some night owls when we get on a grind. So now I'm going to ask a really personal question that I know you might not want to publicly say, but how many hours have you logged on a singular game? What's the most amount of hours you've logged on one game? And I will share mine too, so know this is a safe space.
Now, are we talking about over, throughout the entire life that you've had it?
Yep, the entire playthrough. So a feature on the PS5, which I'm not sure I like because it makes me realize how much I play games, is it has a time counter of the entire amount of time you spent on the game.
Yeah, I'm not going to say which game because I would definitely get a lot of flack for it. But let's just say I have, what is it now? I think it's over 1,000 hours now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to say what game it is. I would get so much flack for it.
That's
but
impressive, actually.
It really is.
I would say a lot of it is definitely from when I was 11, 12-ish.
Okay.
But it's still it is way over that line.
What about you?
I've got around 200 hours in Baldur's Gate 3.
That makes sense. I love Baldur's Gate.
I just play it over and over.
There's so many things you can do in the game. That's what makes it so
I haven't
amazing.
even 100%ed it. It's just,
That's
there's
what's
so
awesome
much.
about it. Me personally, I believe, I haven't checked it in a minute, but I think I'm getting close to the 500-hour mark in Elden Ring. And I just love making all the different builds for all the different classes. You can do anything.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you another question about directly popularity. Why do you think games are popular, and have they always been popular? Just your opinion.
Honestly, I think that the popularity of a game sort of depends on how watchable it is. Not only how playable it is, but for streamers, YouTubers, how easy it is for them to accrue a large following and viewership of those games. So honestly, it's not just if it's fun to play, but if it's fun to watch people play.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that, but I think a lot of the popularity also comes from like the companies that make them. Like for a company that's just starting out or from like a small indie team, it's hard to get that popularity going. Once it like starts going, it's a lot easier, but from like when it's first released, it's so much harder for a small indie team compared to a massively big company to just push over that popularity.
Right, because they've got the reputation already.
Exactly. So I'm going to ask, are there any new games or new DLCs or anything like that coming up you're really excited for?
Me personally, I talked about Insomniac. I am so excited for Wolverine.
Ooh, that's going to be a good one.
But we also haven't gotten like any news on it in a while. It's like I'm a bit scared for it, but I'm so ready for it to come out so I can just start playing it.
Honestly, I'm not really looking forward to any games because I don't know if there are any coming out that I'd be excited for. I've been playing a lot of the games that are already released that just recently came out for some of my favorite games, like Hades, and those are already out. So I have not been looking at the future stuff.
2025 definitely has a really big lineup of games to be excited over. There's just a lot that's going to be coming out over the course of this next year. But honestly, for me, I'm really excited for the Doom: The Dark Ages game. I'm a massive Doom fan. I'm just super excited for that new installment. So we just all said like games that we're excited for, like excitement over something.
Yeah.
So what factors into us getting excited over a game?
I think a lot of it comes from like past franchises. Like for you, Doom, and for me, Wolverine. They come from like you already have a bunch of different Doom games, so you already know kind of what to expect. You're already excited for that. I love comics. Wolverine is from Marvel, and so it's just that I'm already in love with the character.
Yeah.
And so it's just a thing of like, well, we already know a bit of what to expect, and we also kind of have an established relationship with that like franchise. So it's just, oh, well then I already loved it. I'm going to love this game.
Makes sense. What about you?
Yeah, that's honestly pretty much the same for me. It's very easy to like a game when you know what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the past like 5 to 10 years, or actually we'll widen that a little bit, like from 10 to 15 years, games have gained massive amounts of popularity in a rather short amount of time for how big the industry has grown in the past decade. What would you say are like some factors that played into how popular it's become? And before I hear your answers, in this past year, the Oscars in viewing had 19.7 million people watching. Yeah. However, the Game Awards had 154 million people watching. Yeah. So it completely blew the Oscars out of the water. So obviously the gaming industry is a lot more popular than what most people might think. So what do you think like made the spike?
I feel like it has a lot to do with the streaming, like Twitch, all like YouTube. It's very easy to have that much popularity whenever you can just watch a really popular person play a game.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree. Streaming almost blew it up. Like it was already massively popular, but with streaming, you could find new games and be like, oh, well, this person's playing a game that I kind of want to purchase. Well, let me watch them, see how it is. I'll buy it now. And so it's just streaming and YouTube and a lot of social media as well, with like TikTok. You just see like funny clips of gameplay. Yeah. And so it's just like, oh, well, this seems fun. I'd love to get into it. And so it's just that like streaming, social media has basically blown it up.
So would you say that social media is the main course to how we've gotten to these companies now that are so massive and put out these extremely expensive games and just have led to kind of the game industry to where it is now today?
I definitely think so. A lot of social media now has been taken up by Assassin's Creed Shadows, which just came out.
Yes, I
and
saw
so
that.
It's like that is already taking up a lot of people's feeds and just already getting popular. And a lot of it's because it's Assassin's Creed. It's from Ubisoft. And so I think the social media aspect also has blown up big companies even more.
Yeah, social media has taken gaming from something that was a niche thing to talk about with some friends to something that you can tell the world about every day, all the time.
So you could almost say, considering our conversation on the state of the gaming industry, you could almost say it's a victim of its own success.
Yeah.
So my last question I'm going to ask you guys is, what is the main thing, whether what game you want to focus on, what's the one thing in most of your games that will keep you captivated and sucked in for hours at a time?
The storyline for me. If there's compelling characters and a storyline that I can really get into, I will genuinely just play it for hours and hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, I'm the same way of, if the storyline's not good, I almost feel like I don't like playing it. Just the characterization of some of the games makes it to where you're almost living it.
Yeah.
And you can actually relate to the characters and feel what they're feeling.
Especially in the RPG type games.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
It just pushes it over the edge of like from good to excellent.
It's just the amazing thing that video games can do, that like transcend our thinking and get us in a new perspective and a new reality. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Right.
Unfortunately, that is all the time we have today. Thank you for watching our podcast on video games, and be sure to come back for the next one.